Greetings, I am Speaker Jermaine. I want to talk about mental health. And what is mental health? Oftentimes we think that it is something that is diagnosed by a doctor. I have a different approach. I think that every person should be concerned with their mental health. And what I mean by that is the basic three principles of health: oxygen, water, and minerals. Our bodies are a manifestation of the universal divine mathematical intelligence. We are a replica of the soil. The soil has molecular intelligence, and so do we. Whenever there's an issue inside of the body and the functionality of the body, understand that this brain represents the kingdom. And this brain has 7 outlets: 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, and 1 mouth. There are 7 colors of the spectrum. This number 7 is relevant in every aspect of understanding health, because life renders life and death renders death. The color that has an abundance on our earth is the color green. Green represents life. On the inside of our body, we have an abundance of blood that flows throughout the body, the red blood cells as well as the white blood cells. But understanding that blood, once it hits the air, it turns to a different color. Life represents life. This is a key. You mean to tell me that individuals that consume plant-based food, proper exercise, consume water, that they could not help their mental health? Of course they could. I want you to take into consideration that we have another power, and that is the power of interpretation. You see, what moves my physical body is my spirit. My spirit, it can be burnt, it can be wet, it can be destroyed. My mind is on top to control the physical dimensions of me. Taking this into consideration, that my physical body is an instrument of the brain. So let's separate this. Let's say that my spirit has 100%. It can't be burnt, can't be wet, can't be destroyed. Forever in existence. My mental self, 3 pounds of mystical power that is connected to the mind of the universe. My physical body, a manifestation and a construct of my physical self. So let's say that I represent the 3 dimensions of self, that I'm spirit, I'm mental, and I'm physical. Take into consideration that when a challenge happens in our lives, that challenge causes us to do what? Begin to interpretation of that particular event. So now the spirit is a silent observer within. The brain is looking or hearing and doing an interpretation. Now what happens is, when I enter into a state of consciousness and I interpretate that event, the repetitious thought that happens in my kingdom connects with a feeling. Remember the difference between a feeling and emotion. Motion. Energy in motion, not governed by law, creates chaos. To feel is to be alive in life. But what takes place is that the limited physical interpretation causes us not to see the bigger picture. Bear in mind that the eyes do not see. The visual cortex is what sees. But every human being has a blind spot, so that we don't see the reality of life, because the universe is moving so fast, we pick up bits and pieces of information. These chunks and bits and pieces of information gives us the power to do interpretation. It's from those interpretation that a feeling is attached. And based upon our interpretation, our emotional state, we're going to have an outcome. And in most cases, when an event happened in our life that we don't like, that we don't co-sign, we get emotional. And the emotion blocks logic, and that creates chaos within the individual. Chaos within the individuals prevents them from having a positive interpretation. Let's say that an event happens in your life. The first thing that we do in most cases is give it an interpretation. Or we go talk to family members and friends, and then they revert back to us and give us their interpretation of the event. Now it opens up the heart chakra for us to feel certain sensations about that particular event. Now what takes place is that we play it over and over and over again in our mind's eye. Being that we do that, we create inner chaos within ourselves. The power of mental health is in the power of interpretation. The interpretation of an event gives us the power to transform our reality based upon the proper perspective. I am Speaker Jermaine. I am at my best. Peace and blessings. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and share this video.